Okay, I'm very happy to see everybody. What do we have? 56 faces. That's nice.
Dani, how many supervisors do you have in your academy? And do you have auditors in your field that you case supervising? Not on staff, but in the field.
Who is asking?
Maxim Lebedev.
Hi, Maxim. Hi, Maxim. Okay, thank you for your question. Okay, we have 5 full-time auditors. We have 2 full-time CSs. Well, they're also auditors and CSs. CS Tammy Lemberger, with many, many years of experience. CS Aviv Bershatsky. I think Dima Dubinin also training to be a CS and CSing some auditing. I think the greatness of a true technical expert is also recognizing the knowledge, the expertise of another technical expert. You get best results in the AGC when you have an auditor and CS working together. The academy is really the heart of the organization, because academy is where people meet, where people mix, where you have a third dynamic, and where you make people more able. They don't just get auditing, they're not patients, they become active and they learn the technology. So our lead academy supervisor is Emilia Binyaminov. Sophia Kogan is working with her, helping her full time. And even Moti Weitzman, who is our finance director, was 6 years academy supervisor at the Tel Aviv organization. And I also trained at FLAG as course supervisor. So the academy is very important. We prepare materials for the academy, course packs, course check sheets. Really top priority is the academy, and our academy delivers the full bridge, all the training in English, of course, Russian, of course, and even Hebrew.
To answer Maxim, we also give case supervision to auditors who are not auditing at Dror Center in Haifa, but who are auditing on their own all around the world. Aviv does it most of the time. I do it part of the time. And we also do case supervising, of course, for the solo auditors who are at their homes.
Okay. People who are doing OT levels, the solo OT levels, like OT2, OT3, solo notes, they do it at home. We have people around the world on OT levels, and we give them CSing, of course. There are a few auditors, high-level auditors, who asked us to help them with CSing. So we gave CSing services to auditors, also a few auditors around the world. And we have a center in Riga, Latvia, with our very good friends, Kaspars and Gatis, and more people working in different parts of the world, that we give them technical support, advice, and CSing services.
So what's your opinion about renting out cheap apartments in your town for auditors to come and train in like a drawer? What about accommodations, cheap accommodations? It's Oleg asking this question.
Hi, Oleg. Okay. We have at Dror, we have constantly, until Corona, people coming from around the world. So we have here 3 guest rooms. People come and stay here with us, and they can take one of our 3 guest rooms. If people come for a longer time, or the 3 guest rooms sometimes are full. Like in March and April, we had 10 people coming from Canada, from Russia, from Europe, and they had to cancel because of the Corona scam. So we have the 3 guest rooms. If these are busy in Haifa, Haifa is a big city, many apartments you can take, Airbnb, not expensive apartments in Haifa. So accommodations really is not a problem. So you can stay, you can train, or if you come with a friend, you can audit. We will give you CSing. All the combinations are possible.
Maxim Peternikov asks, post descriptions, is is having to do with administration? Like, you know, head description, head.
Wow.
Just simple question, is it administration or not? That's okay.
Yeah, I think we don't have a head write-up for everyone because the organization is very dynamic. A few years ago, we tried to do an org board, but everything is moving and fluid so fast that I lost it. As the auditor, his hat write-up for the auditor is being an auditor, you know, LRH training, all of his, you know, all the bulletins, all the packs, all the training line of an auditor. Same goes for CS. I don't need to write for a CS what to do. The CS knows what to do. Ron Hubbard did it perfectly. Same goes for the academy. As I said, we make sure that all the people in the group are highly trained, and when they are trained, they know what they are doing. And so I think 90% of activity is covered by the hat, by what people are doing according to the training they did, LRH training.
So another question from Maxim Lebedev to you, Dani, is like you, Dani, were a long time in the church. Why the church was taken over by the suppressive person? Why other Scientologists let it be, or let it happen? What we need to do as independent organizations to stay free and prospering?
Okay, so Maxim, thank you for the question. Actually, Maxim asked two questions. Okay, the first question is what happened in the church, how it got taken over, and simple answer, je ne sais pas, ich weiß nicht, I don't know. It's really a mystery, and it's something we need to study and observe in history, how one individual, obviously crazy, obsessive, a madman, can take over a whole group, or in the case of Germany and Hitler, Russia and Stalin, how this one madman can take over a large group, a whole organization. It's historical phenomenon. I have spoken to many, many people who were with Ron Hubbard in the 70s, who were with Ron on the Apollo ship, and somehow the good people got taken out, kicked away. David Mayo, of course, Bill Robertson, of course, Karen de la Carrière. I mean, so many good people got kicked out, and somehow this one individual stayed in power. And that is why because it's such a phenomenon, it's impossible to understand. We have all these conspiracy theories, the Markabians, the CIA, this, that, the other. So, but this is the fact. Okay, so that was question number one. Now, but the main thing, I think, like Maxim asked about the future, we have to learn from the past, but see what we have to do for the future. And Maxim asked about maintaining or preserving the tech. We as independent Scientologists or the people loyal to Ron Hubbard, what we have to do for the future. And I think what we are doing right now, again, thank you, Misha, what we are doing right now is what we should be doing. So number one, train. Learn to be auditors, encourage others to train, to study the technology, and make many, many more auditors, number one. Number two, please, let's keep our comm lines open. The reality is that there are differences between us. Some people also follow the OT levels compiled by CPR, and some people say, no, CBR is squirrel. And I say, these guys are okay, and these guys are okay.
Yeah.
Because if we do not grant beingness and allow differences, then we will fight each other and become smaller and smaller. So, of course, the one thing that we all agree to is LRH and LRH's writings and lectures as the stable datum. So we support each other, we grant beingness to each other, we keep our comm lines open, and we work together as a team.
So Maxim Peternikov asks, what is your plan for expansion? What are you planning to do?
So I have to show you something. I will put back sharing the screen because, of course, the most important thing for the future is future expansion, which means getting more new people on the bridge, because what I have been seeing after we left the church the last few years is that many of the auditors that we have are getting, I don't want to say old, but are getting advanced age. We have a lot of old auditors. We don't have many new auditors. And we really have a problem reaching out to the broad public. And what I have done the last few years is create a big new project. It's called Life Power. I'm sharing screen again. Okay, and the aim of the project is make materials that people can easily read, understand, drill, and apply, that give all the basics of LRH technology. So this is the first book we have. You can see English and Russian, the Life Power book. It teaches all the essential, all the basics of LRH technology, the philosophy, and it teaches recall processes, which is like the self-analysis book, and clearing process, like in the Dynetics book. When I started Scientology in 1980, the first thing I did was the communication course, TR0 to 4, and it really blew my mind, and it was amazing. So I know that this is the best way to start going up the bridge. So we did the complete communication manual, which teaches ARC, confront, communication, and the TRs. And then after you do communication drills, you do upper indoc TRs, control and intention. And then this book covers the subject postulate, intention, control, KRC, how you apply it in life, and of course the upper indoc TRs. And book number 4, which is now just being printed, Study Essentials. This is much bigger than the basic study manual that most of you, I'm sure, know. It's not as big as the student hat, but it has all you need to know, I think, about study tech, how to study. This is just being printed as we speak, and it's being translated into a few languages already. For more data about this project or ask me about it, go into lifepower.com or write me an email, info@lifepower.com. Okay, now this project is not splintering from the tech. This is 100% pure LRH. It's a bridge to the bridge. So the only game we play is LRH and going up the bridge and taking people to clear and OT, but we must make the technology easy to understand and to study by the broad audience.
Dani, what would you do if somebody is interested in services, but then he read bad stuff about Scientology and it scared him away?
Okay, so thank you again. This brings me again to Life Power. So Life Power does not have the name Scientology, and it makes it easy for people to learn the philosophy of Hubbard without the obstacle of the bad name of Scientology. Because the problem we have is bringing new people in for the first meeting, the first one-on-one, face-to-face meeting. That's our biggest problem. Because from my experience, every time I have a person in front of me in my room, I can talk to the person And any objection he has to Church of Scientology, cult, secta, all this, I can handle in a few minutes. So, I mean, people see us, they see the place, they meet the people at Draw Center, and there is no objection. That's it. I think LRH says that public relations, PR, is based on truth. So if you tell people the truth, they understand, they accept, and there's no problem anymore.
Do you experience the sort of persecution and poor public sentiment in Haifa? How does your org address this phenomenon? In the era of Leah Remini's show, last question, if you could give one piece of advice for fledgling orgs, what would you say is key to requirement and retention?
Okay.
We don't have any problems at all in Israel. There were problems, of course, with the Church of Scientology. And the Church of Scientology in Israel, like everywhere, has very bad reputation. I'm happy to say Israel is a free country, democracy. We never have any trouble here. And I'm happy that Leah Remini, her show, was not broadcast in Israel on Israeli television. People don't know about it. But I know that my friends in the US, independent or free zone auditors, they don't have any problems.
Last question. If you could give one piece of advice for fledgling orgs, what would you say is the key to recruitment and retention?
What does retention mean here?
It's keeping staff.
To keep the staff. To keep the people, retention of the staff. Got it.
And PCs and students.
Retention, okay, keeping people online. Okay, got it. Well, it's everything we've spoken about the last 2 hours. Standard take, give people good service, and create a team. Like you're talking fledgling org, that means a new org, a young, small org that is being created and developing. Find yourself one person that you can fully trust and make him your partner. Don't try to employ people, make people your partners, build up a partnership. It may be, if you're an auditor and you work alone, you have a certain level of income. Now, when you take somebody to work with you and you have to give a salary and pay something to this person, you will have less personal income. Well, it's okay, because after 2-3 months, you will have expansion. Make sure you are trained, the people you work with are trained. Show the person that you're working with all the information. Show to the person, okay, we have this much income. We have expenses like this. You take this, I take that. You know, be open, be fair, share with people all the information. There was KRC, which I mentioned before, and then the public. Have the people winning on courses and in auditing, and they will stay with you.
Do you have an org board, and especially the 6th division?
Div 6?
Yeah.
So like I said before, we don't have a rigid fixed org board. The auditors audit, and the academy supervisors, they supervise the academy. Motivates one handles finance and admin. So it's very simple. You don't need to have something that is like rigid and okay, this is the org, this is exactly how we operate. Div 6, like I said before, the best Div 6 is high standard of service, standard tech that brings people in. And now we have the huge Life Power project, which is slowly getting more and more new people familiarized or introduced to Ron Hubbard's philosophy.